This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at an Elm Creek edit by Stevie. This map can be found over at Stevie's Facebook, Farm Simulator Mods. A link to his Facebook post will be included down in the description below. Those of you that may be new to PC Farming Simulator may not know who Stevie is. Well, Stevie is known for his base game map edits and also his other map creations that will surely follow, as he has been mapping since at least Farm Sim 15. Maybe he goes back even further. Let's read a little bit of the description. Here is the Elm Creek edit I did. A larger farm, reworked terrain and fields, mixture of square and contoured field shapes, and the north of the map is cleared and left for the players. Think about No Man's Land-esque, where you can kind of carve up your own fields if you want. Extra straw windrow has been added for crops without it. Okay, so that's important. We might have soybean straw, we might have canola straw. Heck, we might even have corn straw. I'm not going to test those things. I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You can leave me comments down in the description down below as to what other crops have straw added. All foliage can be mowed, but it won't grow back. Just meadow grass will return in its place. We're going to take a look at that because the map does have two grasses. That now helps explain what that means. There is a larger forestry area and plenty of placeable areas for extra production. The latest base game update is required. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Now we have a perfectly clean mod folder other than our pre-order DLC. We're going to go ahead and pull up the log and watch the map load on in. Now, I will preface the map loading in here a little bit with, I had to roll back my graphic options a little bit to get this map to load up. I could not get the map to load up past this point. That point back there where it was talking about foliage layers, I could not get the map to load up past that point with my custom very high settings. Yes, I know that is a very first world problem. At any rate, I had to roll back to very high default settings in order to get this map to load up. If you are having problems getting this map to load to this point where you have a start button, roll back your settings a little bit in your graphic options. Try either, if you've customized them, try that graphic level, the default, as delivered by Giants. If you're already running it, let's say high, roll it back to medium. See if you can load it up. This edit is very intense, and it's going to require a pretty potent system to run it at very high settings. Now, you may have noticed there were some warnings that flew by here, and I'll show you what those mean and explain what those means. Some of this equipment is configured with Wobster's GPS, his guidance steering. Some of this equipment is already configured with guidance steering. If you load up the map with guidance steering activated, you will not see these warnings because it will be fine. As I pointed out, I'm loading this map up in a completely clean mod folder. Therefore, I do not have guidance steering. We will see these warnings. If I save the game right now, exit and come back in, those warnings won't be there because guidance steering won't be a configured option for those items. That's not an error. That's simply saying, hey, this equipment has a configuration option that you don't have activated. All right, here we are. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. And yeah, the first thing you notice is a whole lot of color. This is going to be whatever color your grass is. I use colorblind mode, so my grass is yellow. Your grass is, I don't know what color it is. But what I want to do here is I'm going to go here and see we have two grasses. I'm going to turn that grass off. Thank goodness. It's not screaming at me anymore. So we have all of our standard crop types available to us here on Farm Sim 22, including an extra grass, which I would highly suggest you turn off. If we go ahead and take a look at the lands area, you'll see that Stevie has changed around the buyable land a bit. So we start out by owning the main farm, which is expanded quite a bit. Then we also have fields 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6, and 7. If we sell this for $1.1 million, or if we load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, all of the buildings except for this one, I'll show you that one. All of the buildings except for one are gone, but you keep all of your equipment. Interesting enough. So in Farm Manager, start from scratch, you have no buildings other than one and equipment. That is important to know. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the PDA. Things have changed. This is not your daddy's Elm Creek. That is for sure. Big old field 18 should be a hint as to what has happened here. In fact, let's talk about field 18. We can now buy it for $1.6 million. The farm down here has been rechanged. There used to be 2 fields here, 2 fields here, and I think these were some smaller fields. They have now all been also reworked. You can buy the bottom farm for $225,000. You can buy the farm in the southeast for $521,000. There is a where is it? Here. There is a trailer park farm, not a trailer park farm, a trailer farm that is still on unbuyable land that is located right there. You'll also notice that Stevie has added quite a bit of placeable areas that you can buy, like this plot right here, $267,000. Here we have another placeable area in this plot for $644,000. The forest has been expanded here quite a bit. And also, I believe it's been expanded here a bit. We have a new placeable area here right behind the animal dealer. That can be bought for $406,000. And then all of this area up here has been converted to grass. Fields have been kind of merged together also. This can be bought for $482,000. And the field in the farm in the northeast can be bought for $470,000. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our crop calendar. We have the same generic default crop calendar that we have in base game Farming Simulator 22. We take a look at the prices screen. We're going to see, for the most part, all of the sell points that we have in the base Elm Creek are here, with the addition of a new sell point at the local farm, which we will see pop up here in a moment, called Farm Barn Sell Point. I will point out that location once we get around to the walk around of the main farm. Cotton is available for sale. Seed we can purchase at farm supplies right here on the main farm. Eggs can be sold, as can wool and milk. Wood chips, silage can be purchased also, once again, at farm supplies by Stevie. We can also buy grass, hay, straw. We can get diesel over at the gas station. We don't have to worry about that. We can buy road salt at no cost here at farm supplies on the map. On the main farm. But continue on down, we have the ability to sell all of our production elements that are available here in the base game of Farming Simulator 22. This edit does not include any new production elements. We'll take a look at those here in a little bit. We can buy solid fertilizer, but interesting enough, we cannot buy liquid fertilizer from Farm Supplies by Stevie. We can buy slurry manure. We can buy manure. Interesting, we can't buy slurry here. Digestate. There is a lime buy point here on the main farm. We do have then also the debris crusher. Now, we have quite a list of starting equipment here on the farm. We're going to run through that here in a little bit, but notice it's all owned. None of it is leased. We do have contracts available to us here on the map, and we have 4 pre-placed animal areas. We have a sheep barn, a chicken barn. We have a pig barn that right now is currently showing as sheep. And then we have a custom cow barn that we'll take a look at here in a little bit. Deep breath. As for our starting equipment, well, we start out with several. Sorry. Now let's talk about our starting equipment. We have the Massey Ferguson 8S305 and the JCB Fast Track 4220. We move up to the large tractors. We have the Case IH Magnum 400 Pro Drive. As far as harvesters go, we continue the Case IH theme with the Axle Flow 7150. We have our 1986 pickup truck, and trailers is the Branter TA 23065 trailer. We have the 28-foot Terraflex grain header for our harvester, and then we have the 12-row Capello Diamant corn header. We have the Cultiplow 8-meter Platinum subsoiler. We have the ES Pro 6000 RC seeder. We have the Breedal K105 fertilized spreader. We have the Elo Do-It 7300 front mower. As far as teders go, we have the Kuhn GF8712. We have the Samaz ZS840H windrower. Forage wagons, we have the Pottinger Faro 4010D. Balers gives us the Claas Reliant 455 RC Unirap. We have the Anderson RBM 2000 bale trailer. We have a header trailer for our grain header, and we have a trio of front weights. Wow, like I said, that was quite a list. All right, now let's get on with the farm tour. So what we're looking at right here in front is Farm Supplies by Stevie. We're going to be able to purchase all kinds of products here. We're going to take a look at that here in a moment. We do have our farmhouse right here with our sleep trigger. We have our pickup truck. And first thing you're probably going to notice is, boy, are there a ton of trees. There is a lot of foliage here on the new edited main farm. And like I said, if your system struggles in any way with the base game Elm Creek, I'm sorry, this map's not for you, because it's going to more than struggle with this edit, especially here at the main farm, because we are talking about a lot of equipment, a lot of buildings, and a whole lot of foliage. A lot. So here we have some buildings, and these are, of course, full of machinery. There we go. We come to our first animal area, custom animal area here in the sheep pen. We have our wool spawn point right there, our food trough, and then our animal trigger here around side. Let's just go ahead and pick up a few of these sheep. 195 sheep is the capacity of this edited sheep enclosure. There they are. And we'll continue our look around. I think he did a really, really good job with this pond here, this little water area. At night, we've got these little lights that are going to be lighting up this whole area. I mean, a lot of time is going into this starting farm area, that is for sure. Here we have a building where we can dump product into, so we can store root crops in here or anything else we can dump in here. These walls do have tip collisions in them. Here we have an edited version of the big cow barn. This is the one with the feed automation robot. So we have our slurry point here. Then we have our food trough. Then over here we have the animal area, and no limitation of animals here. We can put a whole lot more than 80. We can put 320 cows in this facility. A limit worthy of a feed robot, that is for sure. We have our milk trigger going on right there, and there are Bessie, Betty, Barbara, and Eugene. That's right, Eugene is now a lady. If your name is Eugene, no offense intended. Now, over here we have our pig pen, and just like the other two animal areas that we have seen so far, this has been edited to increase the number of animals we can keep. We have the dump station right there for the food, and we can put 540 Piggly Wigglies in this pen. So let's go ahead and get some more. And there they are. So the fact that these pigs will basically double their numbers every 4 months. 540 limit will give you a bit of a headroom, so you don't have to worry about selling them off right away. We have a water trigger going on here. Slurry dump station right there. Now, one thing that I have not seen is a manure heap. So you probably should be putting down a manure heap if you're going to be keeping pigs and cows, and you're going to be putting straw in there so that you'll get some manure spawning. We have a customized... we have a customized chicken pen. 650 clucks go in here. We have our dump station for our food trough. There is chickens. This is your farm sell point. So remember the sell points I talked to you about there where we could sell things here at the farm? This is your farm sell point. Windrow sales. We have some more of our equipment. Big ELO front mowers. We have fuel storage. We now have a workshop trigger here at the farm. Hot diggity dog right there. On the other side, we have our farm silo. We have our dump and our fill pipes. And conveniently located right here, we have our big case Magnum with a trailer. I wanted to pull up here and show you that this is not your daddy's Una farm silo. This thing has a lot more capacity. We can put wheat, barley, oat, canola, sorghum, olives, sunflower, soybeans, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, sugar cut beets, sugar cane, seed, total mixed rations, forage, chaff, wood chips, silage, grass, hay, straw. You can even store your snow in this thing. But don't mix your road salt with your snow or you just might get something you don't want. Lime, pig food, solid fertilizer, stones. I mean, if you're a geologist, you might want to collect stones. You can put them here in your silo. Mineral feed, manure, and back to wheat. So you can pretty much store everything in there. Now, let's take a look at the farm buy point. We can purchase lime, road salt, straw, chaff, total mixed rations, hay, grass, pig food, seed, manure, silage, solid fertilizer, and back to lime. So that is for purchasing raw goods. And of course, the point over here is for storing raw goods. But wait, there is more. And here we have our harvester, we have our corn header, and our bale trailer. We have our header and our grain header back there. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is, for whatever reason, the only building that remains here at the main farm in Farm Manager or Start from Scratch. Yes, we can sell it, but it's still here. oddly enough. We can sell any building and every building here on the main farm. So even if we start in farm manager, or sorry, if we start in new farmer like we are here, we can sell any of these buildings if we want to. If we don't want chickens, we just want the land back, we can get rid of the chicken building. If we're not going to keep pigs, we can sell that and use that space for some other reason. So guys, that is the main farm. But before we do our fly around, I want to go ahead and pull up the build mode and run through what is included with the map as far as buildable objects. So we have all of the base game sheds here. And then we also have a vehicle workshop trigger that we could buy and put down. And the large shed that is located right here, we can buy and put that down. For our silos, we have the modded by Stevie Una silo, $147,000, holds 16 million liters worth of product. Silo extensions, we are just talking about the base game stuff here. Containers, we have the farm supplies by Stevie, which is this right there. Tools, standard stuff. Farmhouses, oddly enough, the farm barn sell point is here under farmhouses. I think that's a mistake because I don't know why it's under farmhouses. It should be, if anything, under selling points, which it's not. Under factories, we have just the base game factories. Nothing special, nothing excited there. Although we do have 2 carpenters. I'm not really sure what the deal with that is, quite honestly. That looks different. We might have a different production here. I'm going to have to put down both of these and see what they say, quite honestly. I initially didn't think we had any extra production, but we might have a custom carpentry. Greenhouses, standard farm sim greenhouses, standard orchards, and money makers. Under animal pens, we do have the cow barn by Stevie. This is the one with the additional capacity as compared to the base game. Under horses, we have just a standard base game stuff. Pigs, we have the modified sheep or pig pen, holds 540. We have the modified sheep pen that holds 195. And we have the modified chicken barn that holds 650. Bees are all standard, as is the doghouse. Nothing is special here in fences and decorative elements. It's all fairly standard. And then for landscaping, our painting textures, I'm not going to bother painting them down here, but they are basically the Elm Creek paint textures. Alrighty. With that, let's do our fly around, and then we'll come back to the shop, get our Mahindra, and do a little bit of a drive, I think. Now, let's talk about our map ratings, and let's start putting some ratings down for this particular map. So, production built in, and does it have areas set aside for placement of such? Well, yes, actually, it does. So, this map includes all 10 of the production elements that are standard with Elm Creek. And as we are seeing right over here by Grocery Mart, there are plenty of just open areas that you can buy and put down your own production. So I'm going to give this a full point on the score for the fact that we have production elements built in and or plenty of areas that we can buy and place production elements. And with that, I want to buy this because I want to just real fast put down this carpentry and this carpentry. And then just have a look at them. And see if they are different in any way. Oh, they are definitely different. So, the first carpentry, 24 cycles a month, 36 trees will produce 45 furniture and 1.2 wood chips. And then as far as planks, 50 planks make 70 furniture and 0.9 wood chips. 24 cycles a month each. This carpentry is got 216 cycles a month. 4 trees makes 5 furnitures and 15 wood chips. 5 planks make 7 furniture and 0.1 wood chips. So yeah, that's very interesting. I personally have not messed with production enough to know which is base game and which might be an edit. I mean, I really think this one is an edit because it's pumping out, seems to be pumping out a lot more, but there's a lot less cycles. So maybe it all works out. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with trying to figure it out at this point, but it does indeed seem like there are some custom carpentry at the very least. So let's go ahead and, I don't know, let's take a look around the map. We'll go down the street and then make our way around because the shop is just over there. You can really get a sense for how the main farm has changed here, how the trees have been added. I kind of like this, but I also understand why the base game didn't include a farm that looked like this because of performance reasons. You can see how these fields have been kind of merged together, made larger. Even have the trailer farm down here. There's been a fair bit of trees have been added to it. Now, on our second category, does the map include sell points for all included crops, base game production, and animal outputs? Yes, it does. Just like Elm Creek did. So this map gets a full point score for that. Can the farms be customized? Well, that is that's kind of a tricky one. Because the main farm can definitely be customized. The main farm on the base game Elm Creek could be customized also. Giants with the 1.2 update now allows you to delete the buildings on these farms that are in the 4 corners. But for whatever reason, this edit doesn't allow that. So while we do have a lot more area set aside here for expanding the farm, these buildings cannot be removed. Let me demonstrate that. So we're going to buy this area. Now that we own this area, we go to build mode. Why am I always facing the wrong way? We can't demolish any of these buildings. So I would like to see a update from Stevie on this map to allow us to delete these buildings if owned. Something changed with the 1.2 update that allows us to do that in base game Elm Creek, but we cannot do that here on this edit. It seems like this edit is based on the pre 1.2 update of Elm Creek. So I'm only going to be able to give this a 0.5 on that particular item. We can customize the main farm. Indeed, we can. We cannot customize the other possible player farms, and therefore it's going to get half a point, just like the base game Elm Creek did. Elm Creek got a 4.5 out of 5, and so far this map is rocking a 4.5 out of 5. Also, because this is Elm Creek, so of course the buildings are using the new texture technique where appropriate. There's really only one new building over at the main farm, and that is that really large shed. I'm going to give it a pass. I'm not going to knock any points off because that building's not using that new technique. And all of the player trigger and interactive areas are definitely clearly marked. So again, here we have this farm, which I think for the most part is unchanged, other than the fact that that field's been merged and this field has been merged into a single area. I feel we have a lot more trees lining the roads in Stevie's edit, which again leads to, if you were suffering performance issues in the past, this map is not going to be for you unless you fully understand it. You're going to be knocking down your graphics settings in order to get this map to work well for you. So the town area has been reworked a little bit also. Not a whole lot, but the town area has definitely been reworked. Because the water tower used to be here at the end of this street. We now have a bit larger of a placeable area over here. The forest has definitely been expanded. There is now the forest area. We have some more placeable points over there for putting down your own production elements or expanding your production elements. Here we have that placeable area behind the animal dealership. We also have collectibles on the map. The way it looks is the 100 collectibles remain on the map. You can see collectibles 0 of 100 are showing up. Up here we have all grass. All of this up here is grass. Fields have been merged together to make this one fairly large grass area with a couple kind of driving areas to access parts of the fields. But you could come in here and carve this up to your own merry delight, should you so wish. This farm up here is completely unchanged, other than changing all the fields out, merging them, kind of probably smoothing out the land a bit. We have another placeable area here by the river. Our mill production point is just ahead here. And we're making our way to kind of the national park and the caves system. You can see that our Elm Creek tree maze is gone, substituted by big tall trees. So again, more of an expansion of the forestry area. Our spinnery is down right there. This farm remains. Still, you can't sell those buildings. You can't sell these buildings, sadly. Really wish you could. We're going to make our way over to this area, which was mostly grass in Elm Creek and kind of continues to be grass, although he has merged up these fields so that they are all one big grass area. But for the most part, this area is mostly unchanged also. As far as building layouts go, we have our bowling alley. Now we're making our way back towards town, and boy, you can really see how he has merged these fields. and expanded the fields quite a bit. I've been doing a lot of crop testing on this field. I know it's perfectly rectangle, but clearly we are not a rectangle anymore. So we have our base game biogas plant down here. That is unchanged. And now we're going to go ahead and get back here to the shop, where we're going to do a quick little drive around. I don't think we need to hit a whole lot of highlights because a lot of it has remained the same for the most part. We have a big expansion to that field also, and then just north of the train transfer area, the train silo area, we have a big placeable area also. Down here at the shop, triggers are all the same as they are on Elm Creek, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Got a shop trigger there. Our customize, repair, sell, trade, repaint trigger is located over there. Then what we'll do maybe is just drive around at this level and kind of experience this edit from the ground level. I think y'all might enjoy this edit a lot better if your system will play it as opposed to base game Elm Creek, because of just the increased level of foliage that we're talking about here. For the most part, the production elements have remained where they were as far as I can remember. Here we have that placeable area coming up here on our right. So I like the fact that we've got larger fields. We have less fields, but we have larger fields. We have dedicated areas that we can buy and put buildings down, production facilities down, either base game production or new modded production that's going to come out in the future. Stevie has been known in the past to really implore production heavily in his mods, or in his maps, from FS17, FS19, and I have no doubt that he is working at this very moment to come up with his own production facilities, and I suspect that they will be fairly at home here on his edit of Elm Creek. Now, for those still watching, if you do not like having to restart your game save, I would wait a week or so before starting your gameplay on this map if you are interested in playing this map. And that is because Stevie's known to kind of right after release do some hot and heavy updates, and oftentimes those hot and heavy updates will require a new game save, or will strongly recommend a new game save. So to that end, if you get frustrated having to restart a game save in a fairly short order after starting a map, I would hold off a week until you start this map. Give it some time for things that weren't found in testing to get reported, get looked at, get fixed, and then kind of dive on in maybe after about a week. Come back, check his Facebook post, and see if maybe there has definitely been a mapped update, and if there has, then grab that and move forward. So to summarize, this map is going to get a 4 out of 5 from me, and the whole reason that it's losing half of a point is because the farms in the four corners, and quite frankly the other two farms just north of the interstate, more toward the middle of the map, are not customizable. If you could delete the buildings on these other farms like you can now in the 1.2 after the 1.2 update, then this map would definitely get a 5 out of 5. Because it has every element that we are looking for in our rating system. The only thing that is a little bit short on in the same place at Elm Creek as it released was short on was the customization of the player farms at the 4 corners of the map, and then also those 2 smaller farms more toward the middle center of the map. But yeah, this is definitely we're talking about a lot more trees here, a lot more foliage. So if your system struggled to keep up, struggle to put out good steady frames with Elm Creek, it's going to struggle with this map. If for any reason you have trouble starting the map, getting it loaded up, I would encourage you to knock your settings back a little bit until you finally are able to launch the map. I don't know why I haven't gone in and really messed with trying to figure out which specific custom setting I had set that the map didn't like, but I had to go back and use the default very high video option preset before the map would load up for me. So let me know down in the comments, what do you all think of this Elm Creek edit by Stevie? Is this a map that you were hoping Giants would produce? Is this a map that you plan on playing anytime soon? Like I said, let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, happy farming.